The Clippers make history again. Oh, and another thing. How you doing, VIP? Cole Johnson here, as you know. Welcome back to my channel. And I'm going to dispense with anything else except for the hot take, so I'm going to get right to it. Now, we are on the heels of the Clippers actually, how can I say this? Screwing the pooch. They actually wet the bed. They did the unthinkable. They made history because we were geared up for the battle for LA in the Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and the Clippers. The Clippers were one game away. In fact, they had a 3-1 series lead in the Western Conference Semifinals against the Denver Nuggets. And then they blew it. I mean, they blew it in such spectacular fashion. I mean, they lost a double-digit lead in Game 5. They lost a double-digit lead in Game 6. And if I'm not mistaken, they came close to losing a 10-point lead in Game 7. I mean, it seemed as if the whole team, coaching staff included, did not want to have any parts to do with the Denver Nuggets. Now, before I continue, I'm going to give my shout out a little later in its own video to the Denver Nuggets, because you guys, bravo, you all have stepped up in class. But I'm not going to address you in this video, but I had to give you your props. I'm going to address the team you dethroned. The Los Angeles Clippers. They were supposed to be the team that was going to take it all. In fact, I'll even come clean and say I had the Clippers winning it all. I mean, they had the reigning finals MVP in Kawhi Leonard. They had a adequate, I won't say stellar or stalwart, but adequate number 2 in Paul George. And they had a stocked bench. They had a deep bench. And they had role players led by Patrick Beverley, and they had role players on the bench, starting with Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. So you had that on your team. You also had coaches like Sam Cassell as an assistant, and you had Jerry West as a consultant, and you had Lawrence Frank as the GM. You have Steve Ballmer as the owner, who he's an excellent owner. I love this guy's energy. I love this guy in terms of giving the Clippers the exact energy they need and the positivity that they have been sort of lacking for many decades. And they had the coach that has had championship success and has been to the finals multiple times, once as a player and multiple times as a coach, in Doc Rivers. However, a funny thing seemed to have happened along the way to the bubble games. And that is, they had a difficult time beating the Mavs. They took care of them in 6 games in the first round, but they had a hard time dethroning them. And then came the Nuggets, where they were having an easy time of it. They were up 3-1, and then they lost Game 5 in spectacular fashion. Then they lost Game 6 in spectacular fashion. And then I don't know what you called that fourth quarter in Game 7. Because I saw that they were scrapping to get within in 7, and then the next thing I know, I blink and they're down 20. And I just couldn't understand it. It was crazy. I mean, I'm hearing things such as the team was tired. How in the world can a team be tired? And we hadn't had to deal with a long season normally. I mean, we're not talking about mid-May from mid-October and playing straight for 7 months. We had a break between middle of March and the end of July. And I'll do the math for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's 4.5 months. So you had a 4.5 months of a break in between the regular season and the rest of the regular season and the playoffs and the bubble. And a championship contending team was tired in a Game 7. Hmm. Well, the star of the team, Kawhi Leonard, had this to opine about that. He said, quote, just have to get smarter as a team. Close quote. He also had this to offer as well in giving insight as to how the Nuggets probably did beat the Clippers. Quote, when the team is playing in a certain way, trying to get the ball out of my hands, picking the paint, packing the paint, we've got to know what to do. Close quote. Here's the issue I have with that, Claw. You have won world championships. You've won one with the Spurs. You won one with the Raptors last year. You were the reigning MVP of the finals that year. You were the MVP of the first finals you won. And you went to another finals the year before 2014. You, my friend, know what it takes to get past this level. This isn't Chinese checkers for you. And it also isn't Chinese checkers for the head coach of your team, because not only has he been to the finals as a coach, head coach at that, he's been to the finals as a player too. So he knows what it takes too to get there. So to hear that the players were tired, nah. To hear that you had to get smarter as a team, nah. To hear that you have to know what you have to do, no. It sounds like you are pointing the finger at Doc Rivers. And I will say this plainly. Yes, Doc Rivers deserves a lot of the blame in this. He does, because he should have had the pulse of the team. Up 3-1, the team is basically looking forward to playing the Lakers because they think they have this series in the bag against the Nuggets. They take them lightly, and then they get taken out by them before they even get a chance to play the Lakers in a playoff series. That right there tells me that the players are being told that this is a coaching problem. The media is being told that this is a coaching problem. And fans are thinking that this is a coaching problem. I'm not going to disagree with it. I'm going to simply say, yeah, it is a coaching problem. However, the blame and the buck does not stop with Doc Rivers. And it doesn't stop with the staff either. No. Mm-mm. No. The blame also should go to Paul George, to Kawhi Leonard, and to the rest of that team, but especially Leonard and George, because they were the star attractions of the free agent market this past July. Last July, when it was like, okay, well, is Kawhi going to stay in Toronto? Is he going to be a Laker? Is he going somewhere else? And then he surprised everybody by being a Clipper. And you got your wish, Kawhi, even to the point where you got your number 2 man. You got your Robin. And then your Robin decides to not be all the way there because he has mental health issues, which I understand. Being isolated in the bubble, anybody would have issues being sequestered in a spot where it almost feels like you're in prison. I'm not saying that it was that. I'm saying it probably felt like that. But the number one issue that I see, Mr. Leonard, is that your team does not have trust in your head coach. Simple, plain. I can't even explain it any better than that. Your head coach did not do you all any favors. Unfortunately, though, Mr. Leonard, you also didn't do your team any favors either. And to me, that is the worst indignity of it all. Well, if you feel as though that I am off base or even on base, comment in the comment section below. Like this video, share it to everybody as well. And don't forget, hit that notification bell. I'm looking forward to whatever comments you may have. And that's all the time I have for And Another Thing. I'm Cole Johnson. Thank you so much. And I'll see you another time on And Another Thing.